by the firelight, considering the season, remembering the reason. How can we be cold when we've been given these gifts of gold? Many stop and stare at store windows with lovely things, but their wallets bare. Nothing is what Christmas brings to the unfortunate ones. Aren't they our daughters and sons? Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? Who are the ones I must love? Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? After all I've received from above, if God is with me really, shouldn't I care? Share more freely. Can't I offer more than a prayer in this world below? Misfortune is the norm, but even for the poorest and lonely, let's make Christmas warm. I go on my way, living my life so comfortably. How can I stay aware of those who live differently? Remember the lonely, needing a friend, the one who needs food or clothing, the one who wants his life to end in this world below. Misfortune is the norm, but even for the poorest and lonely, let's make Christmas warm. That was Let's Make Christmas Warm by me a couple years ago. I actually wrote that song to remind myself that I am remarkably fortunate, and there are so many people so close around me for whom Christmas is a sad, depressing, lonely day. And I should try to do something to make that different. I played it straight from the charts of the Morristown Uke Jam. So you can download the song sheet from the video description, grab your own ukulele, and you can play right along with this video. And if you're going to be anywhere near Morristown, New Jersey, come out and play with us. In just a moment, I'm going to do a tutorial covering everything I just played, as well as easier ways to play it. And at the very end, I'll do a slow motion close-up play along that you might find helpful. But right now, if you like the video, please like the video with a thumbs up. If you want lots more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want hundreds more free downloadable ukulele song sheets, each one with a link to its own free video tutorial and play along, then check out our Dropbox and then come play with us. Okay, first thing, if you're a beginner's beginner or you just don't want to work that hard, and fingerstyle is a word you haven't learned, you can strum this entire song. You can strum the entire song. The intro is just C, A minor, F, and G, and you can just do... And that works for the whole song. Christmas should be warm. I know that we like it. Why? It works just like that. Just give it a little more emphasis to that first down and then pause after. That's the only pause I played just now. So, just like that. You can play the entire song that way. I'd suggest be gentle on it. The strum, it's not Deck the Halls. You know, it's kind of a sad, gentle song, except for maybe the bridge. You know, who is my neighbor at Christmastime? That's kind of, I'm crying out. By the way, that's a throwback to the parable of the prodigal son, where where the scribe who was trying to justify himself asked Jesus, when Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself, he said, who's my neighbor? In other words, who can I get away with not loving? And Jesus told the parable of the Good Samaritan basically as a response that said, wrong question, bud. You should be looking for somebody to love, not asking who can I get away with not loving. So anyway, that's, I think, possibly my favorite story of Jesus. And possibly his most famous, even outside Christendom, right? Everybody knows what a Good Samaritan is. So, all right, now, so the strum makes for the easier part. I'm going to go over the chord transitions because there aren't that many. It's a highly repetitive song. And then I'll go over how I played it, the arpeggio and the strum and the fingerstyle that I did. But I'll do that last. Okay, so chord transitions from C. Usually I didn't always start. Sometimes I started with a pinky, sometimes I started with the ring finger, but normally I would play a C with my ring finger there, and then I would drop an A minor with my middle finger, and then I just drop the index and I got my F, and then I have to pick them all up for a G. Oh well. But that's repetitive. So going right in the first verse, C, A minor, F, G, C, A minor, F, G, and then back and forth, F, G, F, G, A minor. All right. Then the bridge, F, G, C, and and that first time, A minor, and you can do the A minor either, if you've, from here, F to G, generally speaking, I'm going to be rolling my ring finger back for that C, and that means I've got a choice here. Normally when I do that, I'd be more comfortable putting my index finger down for the A minor, but if I think about it, if I put my middle finger down, the next chord is going to be an F, so that makes that easier. And then the second line, I did a second position A minor, which is just leave your finger there when you drop the A minor. That's it. Who are the ones neighbor at Christmastime? Who are the ones I must love? Just leave it there. That's it. Who is my neighbor at Christmastime? After all I've received from above. You know what? That's it. It just goes back and forth. Except actually then the end. I also have a second position F, and all that means is I've got my A minor, here we go. Can't I offer more than a prayer? And I do then second position A minor from the G. I would spread these two and do an A minor like this. I'm using my index finger and my ring finger. Second position. In this world below, pick it up. And then I drop a second position F, and that is a regular F, but I've got my pinky also on the C, or my ring finger, either one. Misfortune is the norm. So I'm going, in this world below, misfortune is the norm. Even for the poorest and lonely, Christmas should be warm. Okay, so I'm kind of acting like I'm doing different chords when in fact they're both A minors and they're both Fs, And again, if you're a beginner's beginner, you can always ignore the superscripted numbers in my song sheets and just play an A minor or an F. You could just play that if you want. It's the right chord. It is. I'm just adding a little panache. Okay, now for the rest of the panache. The rest of the panache is arpeggios and fingerstyle, and I didn't try to write it all out. I just put a regular strum arpeggio because essentially what I did, other than the intro, which I do a second time in the middle, but other than the intro, generally speaking, I strum on the chords, during the verses. And the bridge, I'm just strumming. But during the verses, generally speaking, I strum when there's a chord change. And then in between that, I do an arpeggio that just goes from the lowest, I'm playing a low G ukulele. My dog has fleas instead of my dog has fleas. If you have the my dog has fleas, this is going to sound a little bit different. But I would probably play it the same way, either way. But you can choose to do it differently if you want. I'm not going to be offended. But so normally the arpeggio really is just I strum and then I start immediately from the top down, meaning from the fourth string from the floor, doing the pattern. And then I know in the beginning it's going to be a little bit different. considering the season. Okay, here's what I'm really doing. Strum, strum, pluck, pluck, pluck from the top down. And then for emphasis, considering the season. There's an emphasis in the words there. Considering the season. What I'm doing is plucking these two strings. I've got one string each finger assigned for this arpeggio, right? And I don't need my pinky because I only have 4 strings. So, and then pluck, pluck, pluck. That's what I'm doing. Like that. And please don't work too hard at it, or don't, at least don't fuss about it. This is ukulele. It's supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, then you're doing it wrong. So, don't worry about playing it exactly like I did. It's not important. I use the arpeggio as like a fill-in. So essentially what I did is I strum the chord changes, and then I mess around with plucking strings, and you can do them in any sequence, really. It would be fine. To fill in the place in between the strums. That's pretty much it. Now I'll show you exactly what I did, or at least I'll do it in slow motion so you can follow along if you like. But I am going to show you the intro. I tabbed out the intro. Well, I tabbed out the critical parts, but I also do some arpeggio in between. It's like, so those are the important parts, right? The chord change, and then, sorry, I did the wrong one. Those are the important parts. In between that, I'm doing exactly what I said before, going from the top down, filling in by plucking. So, I did it wrong again. So again, the fill-in are the low strings, so I kind of just patter in the background, keeping the music going so it doesn't stop, so it doesn't pause, all right? But so what I'm doing with my fingers, again, I don't always do it the same way, but if I'm starting with my ring finger here on the C, and then the fingerstyle is, I'm plucking 2, and then I'm just plucking the A string, the first string. See, I'm stepping it down. Ring finger, middle finger, open, and then the second string. And onto the A minor. And now I need to use if I'm going to leave my finger there on the A minor, now I have to use my pinky and my ring finger instead. F. Again, it's the 2 high strings. So I just put my pinky down, and then pick it up, and a G. And I drop my pinky and pick it up. That's it. And I do the same thing in the start of the verse. The verse, twice more in the verse, in each of the verses, all 3 of them, I'm going from C to A minor to F to G, and I do exactly the same thing. Christmas should be warm. Actually, I only do it down the way from the C. That's the step down. And then I don't do the rest. I know that we like it white, but then again, even in a storm, right? And that's it. I think that's the whole song. Okay. Well, then the strum. All right. So with the bridge, I go into strumming. Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? I'm pretty much strumming with the emphasis of the lyrics. That's pretty much it. Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? Who are the ones I must love? Who is my that's the way I'm doing it. But you could do what I said before, just the down, down, up, down, up. You could do that. It would sound like this. Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? Who are the ones I must love? Not bad, right? So you can do that simpler strum if, again, if you're a beginner's beginner or you just don't want to work that hard. All right, now I'm going to play through, I think because it's a short song and there's such variation, I'm going to play through the whole song, slow motion, close up on both my hands, because in this song they're both important. So I'm going to back up just a little though. Here we go. Slow motion. 5, 6, 7, and... Christmas should be warm. I know that we like it white, even in a storm. We sit by the firelight, considering the rememb'ring the reason. How can we be cold? Little fingerstyle there. Well, when we've been given these gifts of gold, many stop and stare at store windows with lovely things, but their wallets bare. Nothing is what Christmas brings to the unfortunate ones. Aren't they our daughters and sons? Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? Who are the ones I must love? Who is my neighbor at Christmas time? After all I've received from above, if God is with me really, shouldn't I care? Step down there. Share more freely. Can't I offer more than a prayer? In this world below, misfortune is the norm. But even for the poorest and lonely, Christmas should be warm. poorest and lonely. Let's make Christmas warm. That's it. Make Christmas warm for somebody. See you Wednesday.